Today, a foundry competes not only with the one down the street, but the one halfway around the world. Competition is pushing every foundry to look for better, faster ways of getting the job done. And with this intensifying competition, the best are finding that safety goes hand in hand with maximizing efficiency.
If a person can work and feel safe and secure in his area, he'll definitely be a productive employee. And our goal is to make each area as safe as we can.
It starts when a new employee is hired. Start the training right away before they even touch any of the machines. Start training. And training is definitely the key.
In this program, we'll examine the steps to efficient, safe foundry grinding and explore the operator's role. The work of many people is built into every grinding wheel and machine you use. So every time you put on your safety glasses, pull down your face shield, start your grinder, and begin work, you enter into a kind of partnership. You depend on your grinding wheel manufacturer to produce safe and efficient products, and they depend on you to use those products safely. The difference, of course, is that as the operator of grinding tools, it's your own safety and the safety of your co-workers that are at stake. To help you better understand your role in grinding safety, this tape will cover wheel storage and handling, the grinding machines themselves, wheel mounting, and safe grinding techniques. Grinding wheels are hard. They look like rock and are sometimes even referred to as rocks or stones. But they aren't. The phenolic resins that the abrasive is bound together with is tough, durable, and forgiving when used correctly. At the same time, though, it is sensitive to moisture, temperature, aging, and rough abusive treatment. So it is critically important that all abrasive wheels be protected while waiting to be used. Wheels not stored properly can be damaged, damage that may go undetected by conventional means of inspection until they are put into use. Storage should be arranged to allow for the removal of wheels without disturbing other wheels. Wheel stocks should be rotated to minimize the possibility of damage from lengthy storage. Suitable racks, bins, drawers, or boxes must be used to store the various types of wheels. Wheels should never be stored where they will be exposed to water, solvents, temperature, or humidity conditions that cause condensation on the wheels or freezing temperatures. Whether you are using a portable grinder, floor stand grinder, swing frame grinder, or a cutoff machine, you must always use a properly equipped, well-maintained machine. Safety guards must be in place and properly installed. They are the most positive way to protect the operator as well as others in the immediate area, either by containing or deflecting the pieces of an accidentally broken wheel. There are very few exceptions where guards are not required. So if you have a doubt, refer to ANSI B7.1 for the use, care, and protection of grinding wheels before using the machine. Machine and wheel speed are a critical combination. Speed and safety go hand in hand. If the maximum machine spindle speed exceeds the rated wheel speed, the wheel could fly apart and injure you or your co-workers. To prevent this situation from occurring, the speed of the wheel and the speed of the machine must always be properly matched, and the machine's spindle speed must be checked frequently, since the spindle speed of a machine can drift over time. Portable machine speeds should be checked at every scheduled maintenance period and wheel change, and after 20 hours of use, or once per week. Careless wheel installation is the most frequent cause of grinding wheel breakage. Common errors are failure to visually inspect each wheel for damage and cracks before use, failure to perform a ring test before mounting, Failure to check the wheel speed rating against the machine spindle speed, and using dirty or worn flanges, forcing the wheel onto a spindle that's too big for the wheel, mounting a wheel without using blotters, and over-tightening the wheel. We will now review mounting procedures for some common Foundry wheels and machines. This information is to be used in addition to, not as a substitute for, general flanging information as specified by ANSI B7.1 and your machine manuals. Begin by locking out the power on the machine. Remove the wheel and discard the old blotter. Check the inside flange for dirt and for flatness. A well-mounted wheel requires properly designed flanges that rest flat against the wheel. They distribute pressure evenly against the wheel, preventing dangerous stress points. Install a new inside blotter. These help distribute stresses as the wheel is tightened onto the flange. Always use new ones. Visually inspect the wheel. Make sure that the hole is free of dust and dirt. Then inspect the wheel for any evidence of cracks, abusive handling, or storage problems. If the wheel passes the visual inspection, an additional crack detection method should be used, such as a ring or vibration test. But because of their shape and size, some wheels do not lend themselves to ring testing. For a detailed explanation of alternate methods and exceptions, refer to sections 5 and 6 on page 30 of ANSI B7.1. And if a crack is detected, do not use the wheel. Next, mount the wheel, making sure the mount down arrow is pointing to the floor. The most sensitive part of the wheel is the hole, so never force a wheel onto a spindle. Carefully check the outside flange for flatness and wear, and then slide it onto the spindle, along with a new blotter. Thread the nut into place and tighten it just enough to prevent slippage. Over-tightening can be dangerous and cause wheel failure. Rotate the wheel by hand to check for side runout. Excessive side runout may be an indication of a mounting problem. Close the guard. This must cover at least 3/4 of the grinding wheel surface, and since February 1993, all new and used floor stand machines must be equipped with self-closing guards. Finally, before grinding, stand aside, start the wheel, and let it run at operating speed for at least 1 minute. With the machine power off, remove the nut, flange, and old wheel. On the inside flange, check for flatness, dirt, burrs, or other imperfections. Then do the same for the outside flange. Before mounting the new wheel, check it. Make sure there are no cracks, and make sure its speed rating is right for the machine. Install new blotters. In some cases, the blotter is attached. In many cases, however, they are loose and should be properly sized for the flange and spindle. Mount the wheel, the outside flange, and the spindle end nut. Tighten the nut just enough to prevent slippage. Close the guard. Stand aside and run the machine at operating speed for at least 1 minute. Remove the old wheel from the spindle. Visually inspect the new wheel. Check that the rated wheel speed matches or exceeds the machine speed. Thread the wheel onto the spindle. Hold the back flange with a wrench and tighten the wheel securely. Check the exposure of the wheel above the guard to make sure it is no more than 1/8 of an inch. Run the machine at speed for 1 minute in a protected enclosure. Remove the old wheel from the spindle. Visually inspect both sides of the new wheel for cracks or other damage from handling, storage, or shipping. Check that the rated wheel speed matches or exceeds the machine speed. This case is well within safety limits. The machine operates at 6,000 RPM, and the wheel is rated for up to 8,500 RPM. Thread the new wheel onto the spindle. Using one wrench to secure the spindle, take a second wrench to tighten the wheel onto the back shoulder of the spindle. Test run the machine for at least 1 minute inside a barrel or other protected enclosure. A common belief among grinding wheel operators is that small 3 to 4 inch diameter reinforced wheels like this one can be used on inline grinders with or without a guard. This is not true. All Type 1 wheels 2 inches and larger, traveling at more than 1,800 surface feet per minute, require a guard. Please note, to convert surface feet per minute into revolutions per minute, refer to Table 35 of ANSI B7.1. Begin by opening the end of the guard to gain access to the spindle end nut. Secure the spindle with one wrench and loosen the end nut with another. Remove the outer flange. Remove the wheel and both blotters. Inspect the inner flange for burrs and dirt. Replace the inner blotter with a new one. Visually inspect the new wheel for damage. Mount the wheel. Slide the new outside blotter into place. Inspect the outside flange. Secure the spindle with one wrench and tighten the spindle end nut with another. Close and secure the guard and test run the machine. Once the machine is checked and the wheel is properly selected and mounted, there are just a few simple common sense rules that you should follow to ensure your safety and the safety of others working around you. Begin first by always wearing the right safety equipment: safety goggles, face shields, and protective clothing. Then choose the right wheel and machine for the job you're about to do. For example, if you're using a straight wheel, never grind on the side. And be careful not to pinch or twist any wheel. If you're working on an irregular casting within tight places, use cones, plugs, or, as in this case, mounted points. The ANSI standard doesn't require guards for these wheels as long as you use them at normal operating speeds for offhand cleaning inside the casting. The casting acts as a guard in this case. When starting a machine, make sure the wheel is not touching anything and stand clear of the wheel's plane of rotation. Let it run for 1 full minute before you begin to grind. And don't wear loose clothing that could get caught by the rotating wheel. When you are using a floor stand machine, never adjust the work rest when the wheel is running, unless your machine is designed for that. The work rest should not touch the wheel, and a space no greater than 1/8 of an inch should be maintained between the work rest and the wheel. And with any machine, concentrate. Take care not to jam the work into the wheel. Don't be rough with your machine or the wheel. Never force grinding so that the motor slows way down or the work gets hot. And never drop a portable grinder, even only a couple of inches. It's easy to do when you're working fast, but it could be a costly and dangerous mistake. Finally, always store the machine and wheel properly. The steps to efficient, safe foundry grinding aren't complicated. They're mostly common sense. But there are rules to follow, procedures to master about wheel storage and mounting, machine maintenance, and operation. The most important of these is that safety has to be an everyday part of the job, just like hot iron and sparks. One day without it, and all the other days make no difference at all.
As a rule, in a foundry, safety is important because of the nature of the business, the high temperatures you have with molten iron, the repetitive motion, the weight of some of our castings. You don't get a second chance on many of the jobs as far as if you are in harm's way.
Norton Company wants you to get the job done safely and efficiently. But we can't do it alone. We hope you will use this video as a tool to help improve your grinding procedures. Because, in the end, even with a safe machine and wheel, safety comes down to you.